Hello, everyone. Welcome to our presentation, Resume Writing Tips and Rocket Your Resume to the Top. And let me know if you can hear and see me well. And we will start in just a couple minutes. And let me know if you can see the slides. Before we start, I will ask you to mute your mics and turn off your cameras unless you're speaking during the Q&A session. You can use the chat function in this team session to ask your questions before Q&A session. Please keep your comments and questions respectful, and also there is closed captioning available. You can turn on 3 dots on the bar towards the bottom of the screen and select turn on live captions. And this meeting will be recorded. Please don't click the recording button on MS Teams. And yeah, I will just repeat that one more time. Please mute your mics and turn off your video until the Q&A session. All right, looks like everyone can see and hear me and also see the screen. Welcome one more time. My name is Yuliia Sobko, and today I will be presenting on the resume tips. And hopefully it will be useful information for you and you can utilize that for your resume. I will start with some content which I will be touching today, and so you will hear 5 tips for optimizing your resume, introductions, university career center overview, resume best practices, STAR method for your bullet points and for your resume, grammar and formatting tips, and university career center website. And the first optimization tip is visit University Career Center. And this is the picture of the building where we are located. And the University Career Center is a vital resource for students, and we help students and we meet you where you're at. We are helping you with your first year, we're helping you beyond graduation, and we will meet you where you're at, whether it's your major career exploration or if it's your resume, job search, internship search. If you need any help with networking and LinkedIn, we will be happy to help with all of those questions. And we prepare students and alums for lasting, meaningful careers. And University Career Center has 4 main pillars, and we have 4 teams: career development, experiential programs, student employment, and employer relations. And a little more about us. Career development, we help with career advising, assessments, exploration, documents, reviews, workshops, etc. Experiential programs, they help with internships, co-ops, job shadowing, externships, internship processing and credits, etc. Student employment will help you with gaining professional experience while you're still doing your degree, and employer relations will help you connect with employers, and also they help with the career fairs, networking events, employer panels, and more events as well. In terms of career development, our team, we help you develop the knowledge that you need for job search and help you through advising, assessment, and practice. And you will have a career consultant, which is assigned to specifically your school, and we can help with LinkedIn, resume, cover letter reviews. We can help with career assessments, which can help you understand your values, your goals, what kind of strength you have. We also do job and internship search help, so we can help you find out the resources, and we can also help you and guide you through that process. And we also do mock interviews if you feel like you need help with interview process. If you need some coaching, we will be happy to do that as well for you. And I would want you to meet our team, and you will see our pictures of our team. We have Betsy, who works with alumni. Bethany works with ATAC and ANH. We have Paul in this session, who is also moderator, and he will look at chat as well. Myself, my name is Yuliia Sobko. I'm working with ECS and NSM students, and Alan is working with JSOM and BBS. And second tip for optimization your resume, follow these resume best practices. And what does the optimal resume include? Your resume will include your knowledge, skills, abilities, and they have to be specific for a job or internship you're applying for. It is your marketing document, so you're using that to market yourself and show your skills and knowledge and abilities, so the employer will see how you match the job description that they have. And resumes are very subjective. Different people have different opinions, and this is something that you will need to decide how you want your resume to look like. And certainly feel free to reach out to us if you need any help with that, and we would be happy to help with your resume. Something to keep in mind, it might be surprising, but generally hiring managers only spend 30 seconds to 2 minutes reviewing your resume. And even though it's surprising and it's obviously it's not enough to review the whole resume, but when the hiring manager receives 200 applications, it's not possible to review all of them completely. So you will need to be mindful of that and make sure that your resume looks solid, that it's clean, and you have the keywords that your employer is searching for. You also need to understand that sometimes employer would use special software application tracking system, and that tracking system will look for keywords that are in your resume and are in the job description. And if your resume matches those keywords in description of the job, then you're more likely to get the interview. Your resume should be targeted to each position, and this is one of the reasons for that. And I would definitely advise, I understand that it will take time, it's time consuming, it might be overwhelming, totally understand that, but it's worth it. It's worth trying to target your resume, customize it every time when you're applying for jobs. Also, we advise to have your resume 1 to 2 pages in length, and typically for current students and recent alums, we advise having just 1 page. And for people who have 20, 30 years of experience, then we would advise to have 2 pages. It doesn't have to be too short. So for example, half a page would not work. It has to be at least a page, but at the same time, not to make it too long, since the employer would not see what you have in the end of your resume. Another suggestion is just keep it standard, not use any like color templates, don't use any fancy fonts. Typically, it will likely backfire. And again, resumes are very subjective, and if you like that designed resume is pretty, at the same time, other people might not think this way, so it's good to just keep it standard and not to overuse different fancy fonts and colors. Another suggestion that we have is start with a master resume. Master resume would be any length you can have everything you want on this resume, and you will use it to create targeted resume. So you will want to include all your accomplishments, all your experiences, including academics, your volunteering experience, professional experience. For example, attending today's workshop, you can also add it to your master's resume. It's a cheat sheet to formulate your target resumes. So once you're opening the job descriptions, you can see what kind of experiences, what kind of knowledge, skills they require, and you can look at your master resume and see what you want to have on your targeted resume. This is a living document. There should be dynamics. You will want to include and add some more details about your experiences, and you will want to keep it a living document. And it will also provide this content for targeted resumes. Another optimization tip is customize your resume. You will need to customize your resume for each job application. And as I was talking recently, that many employers would use application tracking system, and that system will specifically look for those keywords. Or sometimes, for example, if you're applying for engineering job, the first person who will see your resume would not be an engineer, that would be HR manager, who sometimes they don't know all the specifics that, for example, you have on your resume. So it's always good to make sure that you have the keywords or buzzwords on your resume, the ones that they're looking for in the job description. You can add it to your summary, or you can add it to your bullet points, and making sure that, for example, if there is a job description, they're looking for a person who will have the software knowledge, who would have team skills. Make sure that you implement those keywords as much as possible in your resume. For example, if you're familiar with that software, you will need to make sure you have that on your resume. It's very important, even though it's time consuming. However, the employer will see that you did take your time and you're a good fit for this position. Resume sections. This is very different for different people, but those are some general guidelines. You will want to start with the header. Then you can go to profile statement or summary or objective. Then you can go to your experience or education. Those can be in different locations in your resume. You will also want to talk about volunteer or academic experiences. Also, there are some optional sections, like, for example, certifications, awards, projects, any of the experiences that you feel like is relevant for a specific job or internship you're applying to. Header, you will want to have your first name, last name a little bigger. So the font should not exceed 14, 16 points. Keep it simple. So you will want to have your name, your phone number, email address. I would recommend having your email address appropriate and professional. Sometimes I've seen not very professional email addresses. So I would typically suggest having your first name, last name, Gmail, for example. I would not recommend having your birth date in your email address. Again, make it appropriate and professional. And I would also recommend having your LinkedIn profile. And it's very important to customize your URL, because when you create a LinkedIn profile, it will automatically give you a very lengthy URL. So you would want to customize that in settings and add it to your header. LinkedIn is growing very fast, and employers are using that to look you up, to see your internet presence. They will want to learn more about you. So that's good to have a decent and clean LinkedIn profile and add the link to your header section. Profile summary. You can sum up your experiences, your goals, your skills, your knowledge, and bring it to profile summary. It should not exceed 500 characters. You can include your career goals, for example, that like what kind of position or internship you're seeking, what is your career goal. You can use keywords that are used in the job posting. For example, if they're looking for engineer who has those technical skills, you can add those to your summary. And this is the first that your employer will see when they're looking at your resume. You can specify how many years of experience you have. You can specify the specialty or like your passions or something that you want to include in terms of like your achievements. You can talk about your soft or hard skills that are relevant for the position. For example, if you see the job description, they want a person to be a team member. You can add it to your profile summary as well. And also you can add achievements that you accomplished and that brought some results. And again, you will want to make sure that your profile summary is relevant to specific job posting that you're applying to. Example of profile summary: highly organized and diligent student with 1 year of experience in customer service, seeking an internship in the healthcare industry, adaptable with an ability to work independently, as well as with a team to help the organization reach its goals. So we have some soft skills, we have some experience in customer service, we have a goal, what the student is seeking, what kind of industry they want to enter. We are saying that the student is adaptable and can work independently and a team. For example, if you look at the job description and they want you to be able to work independently, but at the same time work in team. So that's why you can add it to your profile summary as well. This is just an example, and you can find more examples in our resume guide, which I'll show you in the end of our presentation. Experience. You will need to lead with the most relevant information, and think of how we read. We read from top to the bottom and then from left to right. So you will want to have the most important information on the left and on top. So for example, on the left, if we're talking about experience, you will want to start maybe with your title, and then to the right, you will want to talk about the date. You will want to, you can use one of the like specifics for fonts like bold, italics, underline, but you will need to pick just one. and not to overuse it so it looks clean and easy to read for the employer who is looking at your resume. And in terms of experience, when you have the bullet points, you will need to state accomplishment statements, not the job descriptions. Employer don't want to see what kind of job descriptions or responsibilities you had. They want to see what was your role, what kind of accomplishments you had, what skills you developed, and what kind of knowledge and skills you can bring to their team. Also, employers don't want to read passages, long passages about your experiences. So again, have the bullet points and make sure that they have information about your accomplishments and about your skills. Some of the example would be like having your job title, dates employed, company, and city state is optional, but you can also decide to have that. Another tip is use the STAR method. STAR method stands for situation, task, action, result. And in this graph, you can see more about that. So you will want to explain what kind of situation in the workplace you had, or at volunteering space, or in your personal project. What was your task? You will want to talk about your action, what specifically you did, and what was the result or the outcome of your actions. So for example, situation: served as a project coordinator, completed projects on time, within scope, and on budget. Task: conducted a cost analysis, coordinated 6 work teams, identified project timeline, supervised 20 contractors, ensuring they stayed on schedule. Action: divided 20 contractors into 6 work teams, delegated assignments based on specialty, planned project phases, and established timelines. And the result: as a result, successfully managed the execution of all phases, completed the job on time, and reduced costs by 15%. And here is the complete accomplishment statement from all those: situation, task, action, and result. Coordinated and supervised 6 work teams consisting of 20 contractors. Successfully completed the project within this established timeline while reducing the project cost of 15%. You will also want to think whether you want to include your volunteer academic experience. And some students feel like it's not relevant, but at the same time, I do recommend having that. It's very relevant, and those also involve the skills developed, and those are transferable skills and experience that you can use for your next job. So you will want to include header, your role, organization, date, location. You can talk about your accomplishments and projects at the same time using the STAR formula. And those can include, for example, your academic projects. If you feel like you don't have enough experience, you can certainly talk about some relevant coursework. You can talk about your academic projects. Maybe look at at one of your classes syllabus and see what kind of projects you had. And you can also add that to your resume if you feel like it's relevant to a specific job that you're applying for. Education. In education, you will want to spell out your degree fully, and I would not recommend having BS or MS or BA. MA, I would recommend saying Bachelor of Science in Engineering, or for example, Bachelor of Arts in Psychology. You will want to have the full degree name, and I typically recommend starting with that and maybe even make it bold so the employer can see what kind of degree you have. Then you will want to specify a name of the university or college. You will want to talk about graduated your graduation date. So for example, if you already have your degree and you're alum, you can say just the year or say graduated 2021. If you're still a student, and you can say, for example, anticipated graduation 2023 or expected graduation 2023. You can also add a month, for example, expected May 2023. This is optional, but if you feel like it's valuable for your resume, you can also add how many credits you completed. And your GPA, if it's above 3.0 minimum, then I would totally recommend having that since it sounds impressive. If it's below 3, I would not have that on a resume. And again, if you feel like your GPA is very strong, you can make it bolded. At the same time, understanding that you will need to have all those specifics and details about your degree. Certifications and trainings, this is something that is optional, but it can show your commitment to your field. So you will need to specify training course title, institution, year and month, and I would definitely recommend not having expired credentials in this section as well. But you can have a section, for example, professional development, and add them different courses and certifications that you were able to get during this time. Awards. In terms of awards, you will also want to use STAR statements. And typically, they don't stand alone and they require explanation. For example, you received this scholarship at UTD, and other employer might not know what that means. Or for example, if you're talking about like some achievements, or if it has like a specific name, sometimes employers, they would not know what that means. So you would want to specify and give this explanation to the employer. Tip number 5 is follow these best practices concerning design and grammar. And as I said, don't overuse bold, italics, underline, and caps. You would want your resume to be standard and look appealing. In your resume, you would not want to use pronouns like I, we, she, he, they. You would not want to have that. At the same time, you don't want to have passages and paragraph in your resume. You would want to have bullet points, so it's easier to read for the employer or hiring manager who is reading your resume. You will need to list accomplishments and not position descriptions, and this is something that I see very often in different resumes. So you will want to make sure that you are talking about your accomplishments and you have the structure in your mind. You are talking about situation, task, action, result, and what was your role and what kind of achievements you have and what kind of skills you were able to develop and bring to their team. I cannot stress this enough. You have to customize your resume to the position description. You will want to have the keywords for which the employer is looking for in your resume as well. Sometimes students leave out the employment history that think is not don't think is relevant, and this is something that we can definitely help you with. You can create a master resume and you can schedule an appointment with one of our career consultants, and we will be happy to look at it. We will look at the job description and see look at your master resume and see whether this job experience is relevant for a job that you're applying to. Creative resumes. This is something that I said can backfire, and this is something that we don't recommend, having those fancy templates or fonts. Different people have different opinions. Unless you're in creative field, for example, graphic design, in those fields, creative resumes are acceptable, but at the same time, you will want to speak with the career consultant and make sure that it looks good and clean. And please do not use acronyms. For example, if you're talking about your education, you don't want to say UTD. You will want to spell out University of Texas at Dallas, because people would not know what that means. For example, if you're applying for a job out of state, they will likely not know what that means. And 3 biggest takeaways from today's session is start early. It's never too early to start working on your resume. Don't wait until your senior year in school. Start early. You will want to make appointments with University Career Center, and we can help with like resumes, cover letters, critiques, job search support, interview prep, networking, LinkedIn assistance, and so much more. We will be happy to assist you where you're at. And build your confidence. And we can help you prepare for that. So if, for example, if we do mock interview with you, it might help you be more confident for your upcoming interview. So we will be happy to help with that. And now I wanted to share my screen and wanted to show you some resources we have on our website. All right. So if you go to University Career Center, you can click Students and Alums, click Career Preparation, and we have resume guide. which is 40 pages document. It has various samples, it has some advice, so definitely recommend utilizing this resource. After our session, you can take a look. Maybe we do have various majors and various schools over here, so you can take a look at various sections like technical skills, organizations, awards, and see if you can use it as your reference. Also on our website, you can click contact, and over here we have resume reviews. You can email your resume to our resume editor, and we will get back to you with our suggestions. And also you can schedule an appointment. We have various appointments, like those could be just career advising or resume critique or letter critique, mock interviews, and much more. And some of our upcoming events, we will have resume workshops soon. We will have job and internship search workshop, salary negotiation workshop, and typically those are held during the during lunch hour, 12 to 1 o'clock. So feel free to come to our events and learn more about different career topics. And it's time for a Q&A session. Let me know if you have any questions. You can just unmute yourself, or you can text it in chat. Anything that would feel comfortable. Yeah, of course. I'll go back to the future workshop page. Just give me a second. I'll share my screen again. And also this workshop is recorded, as well as other ones, so you can access them next week on the event website. So if you feel like you would want to come back to that, you will have the recordings available. Will the workshops be virtual as well? We are hoping to have our workshops hybrid, to both have virtual components and in-person components, even though we do come back on campus completely from August 2nd. So most likely we will have this hybrid components where we can both join virtually and in person. What tips do you suggest for interviewing in this environment? That would depend on what kind of job you're applying for, what kind of interview you have. And for that, my first advice would be to go to our career, to myself or any other of my colleagues, career consultants, and we will do the mock interview for you. But my biggest advice would be to come ready. You will want to research the company. You will want to know like what kind of job they have and what is the description, what kind of skills and knowledge they're seeking. You will want to do this research in a company that, if you have the list of the companies that you will be interviewing with. Also, you will want to come prepared, having the understanding of your skills, your accomplishments. So kind of researching yourself and thinking what kind of values you have, what kind of job would be a good fit for you as well. And as I said, one of the biggest would be prepare, have mock interviews. You can have multiple mock interviews. Make sure that you know the answers, why you want this job, tell us about yourself, some traditional questions, but also having the answers to most common behavioral questions. For example, tell me about a time when you made a mistake. And we can certainly help with that. Campus receptionist job. Yeah, you would definitely want to research the job description, make sure that you're aware what kind of requirements they have. Maybe there is, they want you to be proficient in Microsoft Office suites, or maybe they want you to have customer service skills. So you will want to come prepared and have those stories ready, telling about how you utilize and develop those skills. And that's applicable for any kind of interviews. All right, I will paste the link to our next session in chat. And while I'm here, let me know if you have any questions, if you want me to clarify anything from the presentation or like any tips, suggestions on resume. You can also unmute yourself and ask away. Professional dress. That's a very good question. And we recently posted a resource on our LinkedIn University Career Center LinkedIn page. And so I would definitely recommend checking that out. In terms of advice, when you have an interview, for example, it's better to look more professional. So, and you can also utilize different guides available on our LinkedIn. So, for example, you will want this clothes to be comfortable, clean, at the same time to suit up a little bit. So for example, it can be professional suit or professional dress. You will want to have a shirt. So again, if you're not sure if, for example, this clothes item is appropriate, then maybe you will want to consider a different one. It's really hard to say without showing the pictures. So that's why I would definitely recommend checking out our University Career Center LinkedIn page and that article that we recently posted specifically on business casual attire. And let me find the link for you quick. Any other questions? And as I said, feel free to schedule an appointment with our career consultants. We will be happy to help with your career journeys. We will meet you where you're at and answer your questions. And we will be happy to help. Feel free to utilize our resources that we have in the University Career Center, and you can schedule an appointment with me as well, and I will be happy to help with your resume or any other career-related questions. Thank you so much for coming today, and again, feel free to utilize our resources. Social media, completely blocked all social media, or should you have separate accounts? My advice would be making sure that your social media presence is good and clean, making sure that you don't have anything inappropriate on your social media. I would not say have it blocked. At the same time, you can decide to have like separate accounts or having the same account, just make it appropriate. And it will it's about all social media presence or internet presence. Make sure that it looks good and clean, and if someone looks you up, they will not find something that you don't like. All right, thank you so much for coming, and I will give you the link one more time for our last session today. Thank you so much for coming today.